Hi guys, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name's Holly. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today we're going to be starting more seeds because it is that time of year. So we are a couple days longer than 12 weeks out from my average last frost date. So wherever you live, if you go to Google or some search engine and you say, what is the last average frost date for, and then you put in your zip code, it'll tell you what the average last frost date. Now, it's not guaranteed. Some years will have a frost 3 weeks after that, and some years you will have a last frost 3 weeks before that. But this gives you the average, so that's about when you can starting your seeds going backwards. So on the back of the packets, they say start 10 to 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, 6 weeks, so on. So whatever your last frost date is for your area, and it doesn't matter the zone, it just matters your area. The zone is just for perennials. The zone just means you get to this cold temperature, so things will or won't survive. You can have zones that are in Oregon and North Carolina, and they're in the same zone. So zone doesn't matter for this. It's just your average last frost date. So you're going to look on the back of the seed packet and see when you can starting some seeds. So I pulled a whole bunch of seeds that we're going to be starting today. And for something different, I usually use the individual cells, and I start my seeds in there. This year I'm going to start some of them in soil blocks just to see how I like it, what I think. And then as they get larger, I will up-pot them into the containers that we're familiar with using. And so they'll end up there, but just because I start so many seeds, I wanted to try starting them out in a little smaller scenario so that I could save more room on my heat mats, because a lot of these have to be started with heat mats and I start to run out of room. So if I can start out smaller. So this is 52 little soil blocks. I use the mini one, and then I do have the larger ones that these can pop into, and then they can pop. So roots won't be disturbed, and so I'm excited to try this. Let me take you back to how I made these. So we've got all of our soil blocks and we've got our seeds. I went through all the seeds that I'll be growing this season. I have a large seed collection. I didn't have to buy too many, but I did buy a few. I bought fresh onion seeds. We started those together last week. And I did buy fresh some corn seeds and some carrot seeds and stuff like that. And just anywhere there was anything missing, I went ahead and got more. But a lot of these I already had. So let me take you through. I've got 3 different piles. I've got sweet peppers, hot peppers, and then a couple, like an artichoke and some celery. These are things that are notorious for taking a long time to germinate. So peppers especially, you will plant the pepper seeds and you will think, oh my gosh, these seeds are bad. They're never coming up. And then 21 days later, they'll pop up. So I always start my pepper seeds earlier than it even says on the back of the packet. I'm comfortable up-potting them and giving them more room to grow inside to have large, healthy plants rather than waiting till the last day that I could and maybe having punier plants because they didn't get a long enough time to grow inside. So we're going to be starting our sweet peppers, our spicy peppers, and a couple of other fun things. So let's start off with, let's do spicy peppers first, right? We'll do spicy peppers. So let's see. I have a little note. So these were started 10 to 12 weeks before last frost, and I want 1 each of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plant 2 cells. I'm going to put 1 seed in each cell. Some of these seeds are older. Some of them are newer, fresher seeds. So they might germinate, they might not. So what I've got here is I've got a couple from MI Gardner and one from Johnny's. So I've got the early jalapeno, the tam jalapeno, the regular old jalapeno, and then I did get one from Johnny that's a hybrid, and this is supposed to have larger fruit and high yield. So I wanted to get some of those just to see which one I like better. Okay, so let me get 2 of each of these. So I'm just going to do one per, actually, I'll do 2 seeds per little soil block. Let me think about how I want to do this so that they are separated. I think I found the answer. I drew out, this is just what works for me. You guys probably have a better solution. I was going to do tape on the outside, but since I'm only doing 2 per, it didn't make sense because then I'd have to, anyway. So what I decided to do was draw out the grid, and then I'll just write in which one I started where. So for the first 2, we're going to do Johnny's jalapeno. Okay, we're going to do the Johnny's jalapeno in these 2. Then the next one we're going to do is an MI Gardner early jalapeno. Okay, then we're going to do the tam. You know, I've planted several of these varieties in the past, and I just want to know, because when I'm harvesting them, sometimes I'm not always great at being like, oh, that one gave me a lot, or that one didn't give me as many. So I think this year I'm going to pay attention to which varieties produce the best and make sure that I am planting those and potentially even saving seeds. I'll see what happens with the hybrid. Hybrid, if you save seeds from those, you're not going to get you're not going to get exactly what you planted. You'll get either more of the parent side. So we'll see. But either way, I'll get a high yield from it this year, hopefully. So, okay. Tam jalapeno. Okay. Then just a regular jalapeno. Okay. First set done. Now, let's see. I'm going to do the celery and the artichoke. So I usually do green globe artichoke in the past. And this one is the Imperial Star artichoke, and it's supposed to grow in 85 days versus like 140, 120, whatever the other one is. So here's hoping. Because I would like to grow some artichokes successfully. I haven't had great success yet growing artichokes. They either die or flower late, who knows. So these seeds are larger. So I'm just going to put 1 in each of these. So really with the larger seeds, you should do the larger soil blocks. But this is all just a learning experience. And we're going to see how it goes and what we do differently next time. That's all gardening is. A lot of it is trial and error. Let me write that down. And we're just going to continue to get better every year. You know, some stuff is going to be an awesome success, and I'm going to be like, wow, I can't believe I didn't do that sooner. And some stuff, it's not going to be so great, and we'll learn from it. Okay, these seeds are tiny, but they are also older. So I'm going to do 2 or 3. In each of these. Okay. You don't have to throw away old seeds, but you do have to kind of hedge your bets. So when you first get them, they'll be at like 90-some% germination rate. And by the time you get down to, 2, 3, let me see, these are 3 years old, it's not looking quite as great. So we'll see. Okay, So we've got, actually, the Imperial Star Artichoke has a low. The thing I do like about Johnny's is they tell you their germination rates. So this one had a 69% germination rate 3 months ago. So this, I'm going to do a second seed in each of the artichokes. Just because definitely should plant artichokes in bigger seed blocks. Let me write down that we did, what did we do? Utah celery. The next one we're going to do are our spicy peppers. So we're going to do 2 of each of these. So when I was organizing my seeds, what I did was I went through, and anything I have multiples of, I paper clipped them together with the oldest ones in front so that I used them first. Because again, older seeds you want to use first. Like this is a habanada. So instead of a habanero, it's a flavor of the habanero, but no heat, just the flavor. So habanada is the first one. So we'll do 2 of each of these. And I reclose the back of my packets with washi tape because you can stick it and unstick it a lot of times and it doesn't lose its stickiness. So we've got 1, 2. Now I really only need 1 of each of these plants. So I'm just going to do 1 seed per. And like I said, if the soil blocks fall apart, like if I didn't get the water to soil ratio correct, or if I didn't whatever, then I still have enough time where in the next week or 2, I can restart these seeds and they'll be just fine. Next one is going to be jalapeno. Same thing here, jalapeno without the heat. These are the sweet peppers, not the spicy ones. Okay, sorry, I said that wrong. The first group was the spicy with the jalapenos. This group is the sweet. Okay, here we go. So these are a hybrid from Johnny. These are large green bell peppers. They're the Olympus F1. And green peppers, if you let them over ripen or ripen completely, they will turn red. So these are large green bell peppers. But if you left them on, they would turn red. So let me, right, I thought that was your habanadas, jalapenos. Now we're doing, okay. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do 1 of each of these. Next, we're going to do the California Wonder bell pepper. So again, same thing, green or red if you leave it on the plant a little longer. So we'll do 2 of each of these. Next is the coral bell pepper. This is the orange bell peppers. I love bell peppers. I like to eat them as snacks. I like to eat them on a salad. I like to chop and dice them and put them in things that I'm cooking. I add them to chili. I add them to soups. I love bell peppers. It's an excellent source of vitamin C, and it's a fun plant to grow because you can grow them in all the colors, and that is exactly what we're doing here. So let me write these down, put that back together. For some reason, every time I did an MI Gardener order in the last year, I kept thinking, oh, I need more coral bell. So that's why I started paper clipping them together so I could see how many I have so I don't keep buying the same seeds that I love and think I'm running out of. Lilac bell pepper is our next one. This was so good last year. You know, I've done the Purple Beauty in the past. These are a lighter shade of purple and way more prolific in my experience from last year. So I'm excited to grow these again. Oh, that's too many. Yeah. Okay, lilac. Same thing happened with this one, Sunbright. I kept ordering it from MI Gardener. So Sunbright bell pepper. I'm not going to order this for several years because I've got plenty. But I also have places where I can donate seeds to, so I might do that as well since I have, 150 seeds and I don't know that I'll go through that. Okay, the next one, again, I ordered several. See a trend here? I kept thinking, oh, I need to get those. So definitely, it's kind of like when you organize your pantry and you realize you have 5 jars of whatever the thing is that you thought you didn't have. Same thing with me and seeds. So Emerald Giant, this is supposed to be really, really high yields and a good blocky bell pepper, good for stuffing, all that kind of stuff. So stuffing peppers. So we're going to do the Emerald Green Giant. Last few. So we have, I love the snack, getting the small size, snack size bell peppers. Same thing, to eat them as snacks, to stuff them, to put them on salads. Those little bags of the tricolor peppers you get at the grocery store. So most of the things that I'm growing are either things that I can't buy at the store or things that I do buy. I buy, special varieties of melons that you can't even get at the stores. They're like personal size and they're sweeter and they're delicious. Or I buy, the purple bell peppers. You can't get those at the store. And then sometimes I'm trying to replace the things I'm buying at the store for my own, independence and a little self-reliance. So the next few things are going to be the snack sized peppers in all the colors. So I have yellow, orange, and red, the snack size peppers. So from Johnny's, I have the lunchbox orange and I have the hybrid sweet yellow snack size. And then from M.I. Gardner, I have the miniature red bell peppers. So I'm going to get all 3 of these planted. Okay, so all the seeds that I doubled up on in the beginning, I'm realizing that I have empty cells. I will have empty cells at the end of this. So I am moving them. How did I just lose my pen? That's why I brought 2. Okay, so we're doing red snack, peppers, and then we also did, of course, that pen is dying, but let's do these. Finish this row. Got all of our peppers planted. All these ones that I double seeded. I don't know why I double seeded when I made enough blocks to put one in each. That was silly. Okay. This is going to be much better. Why did I try to cram them all in, you guys? Okay, now I have 2 extra little blocks. Let's see, are there any that I wanted more of? I think I did a good amount of everybody. Maybe I'll do nothing. Okay, these 2 we didn't need. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. And I'm going to put this where it won't get wet, and I'm going to write the date on when I seeded these, just to make sure that I am keeping really good records. And I'll also take a picture of it on my phone to make sure that I don't lose that. So these are good, except we need to put some vermiculite on top of them. So first thing we're going to do, give them a quick little mist. Then we'll sprinkle some vermiculite. Now I use vermiculite. You don't need to if you don't want to, but I like it because it helps prevent the drying out. It keeps a little moisture level on the top, and it also keeps them from being overwatered. It just regulates the moisture level really nicely. So I like to spread, and the light can shine right through these. So if you did have seeds that needed light to germinate, you're not going to hurt them by sprinkling this on top. So I use the fine vermiculite. Do a second little spray. These seed blockers, soil blockers, I did use the tray with the holes on the bottom. It's like a mesh. And then I do have them sitting inside the 1020 tray so that I can eventually bottom water these. But for while they're germinating, this will be just fine. And so we'll get these on a heat mat. I actually have a few things on a heat mat. So I have some seeds that Olivia planted. And so I'm just going to add these to the thing. So she planted some aloe and eucalyptus, and what was the third thing she planted? Oh, a little cactus from seed. So these take a super long time to germinate. So we've got them in here, but they can all share the same heat mat. So let me get this area cleaned out. Okay, so we're going to get this tray on a heat mat. So here's an update on the seeds we've started so far. Olivia also has cat grass growing in grow goo for our cats. But so over here we have our Zabroon shallots. Those are coming together, coming out real nice, really, really nice. We have our conserver shallots. Those were the last ones that I planted, and we've got some germination. You can see some germination right there. We've got our Patterson onions. Those are germinating. Got both trays, got some germination on those. And then we have our red wing onions, same thing. We're getting some good germination on those. So those will all be popping through. And then up here, we have our Beauregard sweet potatoes. Those I'm not expecting anything to happen for weeks. And these are our ornamental sweet potatoes. These are the ones we're growing for the vines, for the pots in my front yard. And we're already getting some sprouts. So that is exciting. All good things are happening. So we have a ton of fun projects going on here, you guys. I want to thank you so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have a whole lot more seed starting and gardening and chickens and building projects to come. So I can't wait to see you guys next time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Bye, my friend.